Bernie starts.
I guess with Connor having a night to sleep on, it feels like another piece of good news building block-wise for you.
Well, good for him. I mean, obviously, I didn't think his first 2 games went the way he's capable of playing. He was a little tight, and I thought he relaxed and made some plays last night playing with Bozak and Leo. It was a good line for us. You know, they created chances and didn't give up as much, so that was a good line for us. Obviously, with boys going on that line now, it'll be a little different look, but still should have an opportunity to be a good line.
Nazem seems to play his best when he's got a little bit of extra motivation built in, and yesterday the talk was all about William and his matchup against Getzlaf and then the return of Bozak. Do you think Nazem used that as a little bit of motivation to say, hey guys, don't forget about me?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he's been playing head-to-head with the best centers in the league basically since 2 months in, and so I think he knows he's important. I think sometimes when he's doing that and he doesn't score as much, you know, that could be frustrating for him, but I think he's played real well. He's played real hard. He's getting better and better without the puck, and last night he was rewarded. You know, Naz is a guy who doesn't score from distance as much. He's got to be in tight, and he got in tight last night. We moved him on the power play to be in the middle, and so he's tighter than net, and then got in when Hyman was on the net there in overtime, obviously, for a second one. So good for him. He made a real good play to Bozak on the power play. I forget where the other assist was, but all in all, it was a good night for him, and anytime you get 4 points and you're playing against one of the best centers in the league, it's a good night for him.
I know he's been working on shot odds. Can you become a player? Can you train to get it to be an outside shooter like that?
Well, absolutely. You can do, you know, he can do a lot. I know Paul Kariya was a guy, first came in the league, couldn't shoot, and then worked on it in the summer. But it's not going to be because someone came here and worked 3 days with you. It's going to be because you hire someone in the summer, you make a commitment to get stronger, and you work at it in the off season. And no different than a basketball player would. Or you got to pick something in your game, and if you love it enough, the best players do that, and they keep getting better.
You have a roller coaster night like last night. Is that a sign of a younger team still trying to?
Well, you know, a roller coaster. They scored on the power play, they rimmed it in, and bang, it was in our net. And so I didn't think we made bad plays. Pressure up on the penalty kill. They got it inside and made a play on us, so I wasn't concerned about how we had played. I thought they came out with a real push in the third, and we watched them. And then, you know, we're able to survive that and then score and then win in overtime. But, you know they're a good team. You know there's going to be a push. I thought we were in control of the game, and it got away from us, not so much by bad plays as they made 2 good plays, and there you are.
Mike, you coached several years against Bozak, obviously. Where have you seen his growth in the face-off circle?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've seen this year is, you know, we dealt a lot with that at the start, is just his commitment to playing without the puck. Is, you know, I have no interest in being on a rush team up and down the ice and trading chances and finding what the score is after the game. I want to be a heavy team that plays down low and cycles the puck and controls the game, and doesn't win on chance, wins because they do it right over time. So that's what we've challenged him to do, and he's been excellent.
How about his work in the face-off circle?
Yeah, I mean, he's a real good face-off guy, and obviously a right-hander, so that helps you. I didn't put him in some of those situations yesterday because I put Willie in some of those situations instead. Even though Bozak's the veteran guy, I think it's important to understand what we're doing and try to do. And so, you know, he's a dominant face-off guy. When you win the face-off on the penalty kill, when you win the face-off on the power play, you're going to have better specialty teams. Last night we didn't see Kessler for them. He wins all the penalty kill face-offs, and they get it down the ice, and we got 3 on him last night because they didn't. So it just goes to show you how important that aspect is.
What's the plan then tomorrow night with Bergeron coming in also on the best?
Well, I mean, Bergeron obviously, and Krejci and Spooner, they got guys down the middle, so it'll be a good test for our guys. We'll work it out after we've gone through all the clips.
I know with Connor and Hyman, a bunch of guys now, you've got the Toronto connection. Does that little emotional extra connection help in your mind?
Yeah, I know. I don't think much about that, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, we want the best players. If they're from Toronto, great. If they're from Ontario, great. From Canada, great. But if they're from Sweden, we like them too, and Russia and wherever they come from, you know. So Pavel was great for me for 10 years. Nick Lidstrom was unbelievable. Zetterberg was unbelievable. They're from all over. I mean, and I never asked them about their passport, just if they could play good or not.
Mike, a bit of a unique situation, but how much did Brown, Hyman, and Willie benefit from living at home still, and, you know, not having to worry about cooking and all those other things?
Well, I think that's real important. I think looking after your young people is important, and having a commitment to living right off the ice is important. And you leave young guys alone in a big city like this with lots of distraction, you can get lost a little bit, and we had some of that evidently going on here last year, and so it's not going on this year, and we're going to have to do that as we bring in kids. We'll have to make sure they got families to live with and look after them.
Hey, Mike, in face-offs again, when the youngsters like really don't get the leeway from the linesmen, the
Yeah.
veterans do, how do they get around that? How do they get
Well,
around
you be respectful, you know his name, you talk to him, you get a veteran to help you, you learn to cheat better, and over time when you become a good player, they're going to give you some benefits. So it's kind of come on an unearned basis.
Well, Tyler was saying it's like night and day for him now. When he first came
Well,
into
for sure, and yet in saying that too is, I mean, I don't know if you saw after the power play face-off went, Getzlaff was pissed off because Bozak took his stick and didn't get his stick down. Now on the other side, when Getzy was going for the offensive side, he was doing the same thing. That's part of cheating. That's part of understanding. And if they let you get away with it, that's great. And then when you're a kid, they don't.
Kind of an interesting situation here with the Ducks. Watching your practice, got to catch up with some people that you had coached in the past. What do you make of that when you've got another team sort of watching as you go?
Yeah, I don't care much. I mean, Paul McLean coached with me for 9 years, so you know I don't have a whole lot of concern about that. You know, and partway through practice, I knew some of the guys were there. I didn't care very much about it. Obviously, it's great to see Getzy and Pear. You know, I remember the day we drafted those guys, and they're good players in the league. And then Paul McLean, like I said, I worked together with him 9 years, good friends with his family, his kids, and his wife, and so it's always nice to catch up with people.
Getting back to living late off the ice, does that mean getting some of these younger kids to live with veterans when they come into?
Well, I don't know if we have enough veterans to
Okay.
do that, you know what I mean? But,
Right.
you know, we'll look at that, obviously. We'll look at the family situation and who we can set them up with and what we got to do. But, you know, obviously we're just not going to leave them out on their own in the community.